Hello, good morning everybody. In this video I want to show you the API that we are supposed to have for these applications. Like in here now, we've done for the registration form here for the user to register, and this is the login form. However, when I think let me start with the get started page. Like if we zoom in on this stuff here, let me zoom in a little bit. You see this get started button. Once you click it, it should take us to this page here, which is the get started questions. So the first API we are going to have in here is that it's going to be one API. I believe it should be for this page 1, 2, and let me see. I think tell us about your personalized response. Actually, it could be 2 API or even one, depending on the way it is being written. But to make things easier, I think for these 3 pages in here, let me zoom out. These 3 pages in here, they should all share the same API. Here, once the user click on any one of these values, which is happy, sad, or which one, it should be it should be saved inside of a state. And so as this one, anything you click, any value you click in here, it should be saved, and any value you enter here should be saved. And when continue to sign up is clicked, this button, this large button is clicked, it should submit the those data to a database behind the scene, to a backend behind the scene. For the other one, that's the first API. For the second one, for another one, which is what's it called, the journal entry page, this one particularly in here, this one is very important because it is where the user is going to be able to put in their journal entry. And if you look at this page, 1, 2, 3, 4, with all these, if I all these together, they are in the same group. So they should all share, especially 1, 2, 3, 4. They should all share like 1 or 2 APIs for this one. And the first one is to create the journal. Like in here, if you look at it properly, there should be a title for the journal that the user wants to write, the date at which it is being written, and whether image is going to be uploaded, and what's it called, the format, to format the text that's been written in here, whatever text that you have here, maybe to bold it, to italics it. And for this one is I think okay, for this one we have the export, the share, and the delete, which is what we have in here. So here, all these old things should, we are going to be the one to handle that aspect. But my point is that all this data that is being written here has to be saved. When you click save now, we should be able to call an API, which is this save now here. We should be able to call an API that is going to collect this data and save it, take it to the backend and save it in a database for this one, which is the journal entry. And all this one is that we are going to handle it. We'll be able to know how many minutes ago that the user wrote here, save this file. You understand, that kind of a thing. And here, if you look at another thing, if you look at this, you see that there's a star in here, and there's no star in here. What that is trying to say that you can actually start this message. Maybe for the API they can have for this data, this type of data, because I don't know how they are going to do it, but it's they have to create like a data structure for it. There will be a title for the journal, the journal description itself, every other thing that will be involved regarding this particular entry. You understand? And there will be an entry, a field that will say is the journal start or not. which is what we are going to have here. View start entries. So all the entries that we've had that has been written here, that we've clicked on to make it start, it should be able to show when you click on this stuff. And secondly, since I mentioned that this icon which is here is supposed to be for an upload. Well, normally in development, it's not possible for you to, as it called, there are fewer databases in the world that can actually save an image like this. So I believe this one they will have to use a third party packages, something like that, but it's still an API, you understand, that kind of thing, that is going to collect this any image that is going to be uploaded within this form and save it to a different API, you understand. That way, that is is two. Once you have everything written in here, you filled all these old details, when you click save, first the images that we have here, they will be saved in a different place. However, the link to those images should be saved along with all the details in here. That's the way they normally do it. And there are so many what's it called, third party packages. Like we have, I think there's Amazon, and I think there's Cloud9 that handle all these images and videos saving. Okay, that's the one. For the dashboard, let me go back to it. Okay, let me wait. For this profile setting, before I leave, also for this one, if you check it, like sharing the journal in here, when you click on this share here, look at this share here, it will bring us in here, share entry. Of course, you enter the email of the recipient, someone that you want to share this journal entry with, then the message you want to put it into here. Okay, I think this one particular we are going to be the one to handle it. Why? For the public ID, public link, this one has to be an API, because they will be able to generate the link to view this particular entry, so they will have to create like a, what's it called, we have to create a page to show the particular entry, like all these things that that the user enter. We want to generate a public link that people can come in there to come and see. So from our own end, we were going to create a page for us to be able to show that okay, the user can go onto this page to see it. However, what is going to be shown on that page would be done by the backend people, because they are going to be the one to allow us to give us the API to the entry that is being saved in the database. So they are going to be the one to do that one. For this one in A, for the public information, in fact here there are a lot of APIs to be done. Like for the profile information itself, when you have the profile information, I believe you should be able to show all the details that the user registered in during the get started page, and the full name, the email address, the public, and everything. So in here, all these things, once it is being filled and save, you click on save changes, it is going to be submitted to an API endpoint. So the backend guys have to do their own work. It's only when it is being saved, it is saved successfully, you see this notification, all settings saved successfully. Understand? So let me go down. I think the next one is for the delete. For this delete one too, it's still the same. They will have to do the API endpoint. They will do like an, I don't know, maybe like a something delete request. Once you click on it, you get the user ID. Based on the user ID, it will use it to delete all the details, all the relevant information that is pertaining to that that user's account. You understand? Okay. Let me see. I think for the privacy settings, which is what we have in here, I don't know. I think this one is different. Privacy setting. Profile visibility, allow others to view your profile information. Actually, this one can go in both ways. We can do it, they can do it, depending on the situation. Email notification, push notifications. It's weird that we are supposed to do this one, because this one it's not really a backend thing that much. It's just, it's a third party packages that we can handle from our own end. But they will need to do their own part, because all this one won't have make any sense if the main work is not done. Won't be able to. It won't even make any sense when we do it. They'll just be like, "What's the essence of even doing all this stuff?" When the the main API themselves are not even, they are not working. So for the dashboard in here, just as I told you, in the video, if you let me zoom in on it, this one should be pertaining to the user. In fact, we are not even creating anything. They are not creating, they are not saving anything. Here is just retrieve the user's information and display this. Use the user's information to display like a statistics of the user's usage. You understand that kind of thing? Maybe for instance, now this week insight, it should show the numbers of time the user has been engaged in this application. So this one, they have to create like an entry on the user's data, like a field to be able to monitor all these kinds of stuff, and the overall journal analysis in the last 30 days, or last 30 days overall positivity, depending on the kind of entry that is being entered. They should do like to know the kind of mood the user is. It good mood that has been feeling for the past 30 days, or bad, neutral, or negative, depending on what mood it is it's supposed to be. They should create an API that will allow us to be able to get those data, to be able to display, show the right statistics for the user. And look at even this one too, they are all the same. It's just they should find a way to understand today streak. Is it streak? Keep it going. Weekly progress. Depending on the progress, they should know. Figure out a way to. Let me see. Let me zoom in on it, because you are 30% feeling happier than last week. Weekly progress. You are 70% consistent this week, or some 2 week. Yes, it's still the same thing, because all this one too, as I say, it's still based on the user's input. You understand? Once they get the user's input, they will do some calculation. From there, we are just going to take it, put the calculation in. We'll know whether, based on the data that has been returned, whether it is low, whether it is high. We'll know whether the user is happy or sad, or whatever condition it might be in. Current mode, last logged anxious. You understand? So if it is anxious, definitely is in negative mood.